And now comes the problem for Democrats. They don't like that decision. And here's why. Former President Biden's White House Communications Director, Kate Bedingfield, sent a message to the White House. It's a tweet. It said, if they have data that supports the path to victory they see, they should put it out and help people who badly want to beat Trump rally around the message. People want to see the path. We're going to switch the view here on the wall, and we are going to explain to you why that path to victory is blocked by a red wall. These are the toss-up states, 235 to 226, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Remember, 270 to win the election. At the current moment, Biden loses to Trump in every single one of these swing states. And every hour, every day, every new cut makes Biden weaker, which brings more cuts, more time spent defending himself to fellow Democrats and shoring up support in his own party. So there's one man who can end this whole thing and give Biden a path once again. Remember, this was Barack Obama who ran the table. And Obama could either speak loudly and tell Democrats to stop and knock it off, but Barack Obama is not doing that. He's waiting, and that should terrify the Bidens. Ben Kobren kicks us off tonight, former campaign press secretary for Hillary Clinton. It is good to see you. Thank you for joining us. How does Biden stop this?
Well, look, I'm not going to lie. This is not good. The polling numbers are not good.
We appreciate you not lying. It's a good way to start a relationship off.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But it's very important to remember, Joe Biden has an incredible 4-year record. He has proven himself far beyond any other president in the last 8 years, 10 years right now in job creation, wages. Inflation's now under control. But my point here is that he's had a great 4 years, and he needs to stand up here now and explain his vision for the future, and that's what he's doing each day. This is a tough space to be in right now, but if you look at his record and you compare it to Donald Trump's record, there is no question.
I totally understand that, except that is not doing anything to stop this conversation. Just in the past 2 minutes, Earl Blumauer, Democrat of Oregon, calls for Biden to drop out. Again, what does Joe Biden do to prove to Democrats that they should stop this? Or is it not Joe Biden, as I said, is it Barack Obama?
No, look, President Biden is the president, he is the nominee, and he is the one who's going to decide whether or not there is a change in the decision that's already been made.
Okay.
And to do that, he needs to go out day in and day out and convince the country about his vision, continue to remind them what America was like under Donald Trump, what America has been like under his presidency, and what he will do over the next 4 years. Look, I'll say 1 mile from here, right now, the 75th anniversary of the most important alliance in the last, more than almost a century is happening, and we're the hosts. And he's the leader of the free world, and he is demonstrating that leadership, and that is an incredible thing. Donald Trump, on the other hand, wants to throw it away.
Ben, I get all that, except that's not what anybody's talking about. You understand better than most when the press gets a hold of a story, they don't go with it. I think it's kind of odd to see now how the Biden team is getting, after 3 years of relatively good relationship with the press, getting punched. I think punched in the face would be the best way to say it. There's an interesting point here. In the Clooney op-ed brought this up and laid bare that the Joe Biden at the debate was not a one-off, as we were told by the White House. It is the Joe Biden that everybody sees in private every day. John Favreau of Pod Save America had this to say earlier. Take a listen.
I mean, it was not surprising to any of us who were at the fundraiser. I was there. Clooney was exactly right. And every single person I talked to at the fundraiser thought the same thing, except for the people working for Joe Biden.
And then after the fundraiser, there was that video that came out. You remember it, right, of Barack Obama leading Joe Biden off when he sort of had one of these freeze moments. And MSNBC, among others, said it was a cheap fake. The White House said it was a cheap fake, on and on and on. Obviously, now with Clooney saying this and Favreau saying it, who was there, it's not a cheap fake. We know that. How do Democrats who have told voters, swing voters for years, nothing to see with Joe Biden, regain credibility?
Look, obviously that's one fundraiser, and that's George Clooney and John Favreau saying, have you talked to the countless number of people who work with the president every single day who have seen him perform in all of the tasks that he needs to do.
Yeah, they told us he was doing underwater trigonometry, and it just wasn't true.
No.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.